Do you believe happiness comes from getting what you want? Stoic philosophers laughed at this idea centuries ago and discovered something revolutionary. History's most fulfilled people were those who embraced exactly the opposite. Seneca revealed 9 brutal truths about human nature that will shatter everything you think you know about success and personal fulfillment. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like and comment what part of the world you're watching from, because now I'm going to tell you everything. What if you spend your whole life chasing happiness, but never truly find it? Many people around the world spend most of their days trying to be happy. They work very hard to get new things. They wish for a bigger house, a new car, a better phone, or exciting vacations. They hope that these things will finally make them feel joyful. You may notice this idea in many places. If you watch television, movies, or videos online, you will see people smiling because they bought something new, won a prize, or became famous. You will hear songs and see ads that tell you happiness is waiting if you just get one more thing. You may even look at people around you, friends, family, co-workers, and see that they also believe in this idea. They talk about what they want to buy. Sometimes they make plans to reach big goals at work or school. They hope that when they finally get what they have been wishing for, they will feel good inside. This way of thinking is very common today, in almost every country. But is this way of finding happiness really working? You might look around and notice that even when people get what they want, their happiness does not last very long. For example, maybe you have seen someone save up money to buy a new phone. On the day they buy it, they are very happy. They show their new phone to everybody. For a few days or weeks, they feel proud and excited, but soon the excitement gets smaller. After a short time, the new phone seems normal. Sometimes they already start thinking about a new phone or a better one. This cycle does not only happen with things. Sometimes it is about goals. A student may study very hard to get the best grades. When they succeed, people applaud and celebrate. For a short while, the student feels very happy. But after the party is over, they begin to worry about the next test or the next goal. The joy from the first achievement fades away, like a shadow when the sun goes down. Many adults do this too. They work all year hoping for a promotion or a raise. When it finally happens, they have a good feeling. Their friends and family say, "Congratulations." But soon, this moment passes. Work gets busy and stressful again. They start to wish for something else, maybe a higher position, or a different job, or even more money. The happiness they felt does not stay. For most people, this pattern repeats many times. They keep chasing new things or new achievements, believing that the next thing will finally satisfy them. But soon after they get it, the good feeling disappears, and they feel empty or frustrated again. This does not mean people are wrong to hope for better things. Wanting to grow and improve is part of being human. But if happiness depends only on getting something new every time, it never lasts long. There are reasons why so many people believe in this cycle. All around us, companies spend a lot of money to make us think that buying more is the solution to every problem. Advertisements show happy families in big houses. They show people laughing while eating expensive meals or using bright, shiny gadgets. They say, "If you buy this, you will be happy too." Other messages tell you that you need to look a certain way, have a certain job, or achieve special awards to really belong. This message shows up everywhere, in shops, on your phone, in stories, and even in the words of people you know. If everyone repeats this message, it begins to feel like a rule of life. Many people do not even stop to ask if it is true. They just keep working and hoping, chasing the next thing. But over time, chasing happiness in this way can cause problems. When people set very high goals or wish for big changes, they start to believe they need those things to feel happy. If things do not go as planned, or if life gets hard, they feel disappointed. Sometimes they feel angry or sad. Other times they feel tired and think life is unfair. This frustration grows each time their hopes do not match reality. Some people try harder and harder, working long hours or making more plans. But the harder they work, the more tired and empty they feel. Others feel jealous when they see people who seem to have the things they want. This can lead to feelings of not being good enough, or thinking that life is always better for someone else. Over time, a person may stop noticing the good things they already have. Happiness begins to feel far away, almost impossible to catch. Not everyone tries to buy happiness. Some people look for it in other ways. They hope that being very popular will make them happy. They look for praise from others. They collect likes or get attention on social media. Other people hope that traveling to new places, having many friends, or always being busy will give them joy. But just like with things or success, the feeling does not last long. As soon as the excitement is gone, they start looking for another distraction. Some may feel empty even with many good things in their lives. They have food, family, and health, but they still feel like something is missing. They may notice this feeling when they are alone at night or after a busy day. They wonder, why do I not feel happy? I have everything I thought I wanted. This problem happens in nearly every country, with many different types of people. It is not just a problem for those who have little or those who have a lot. It is not just a modern problem either. Even before there were advertisements or social media, people spent a lot of energy trying to get more. Ancient stories often tell of powerful kings, rich merchants, or famous artists who still felt unhappy after getting everything they wished for. It is very important to see how common this cycle is. When you open your eyes to it, you start to notice it everywhere, in conversations and in the world around you. You can see it in people's faces and hear it in their complaints or wishes. This cycle shapes many choices you make each day, sometimes without realizing it. When people do not notice this pattern, they make choices that may not help them in the long run. For example, they might spend more than they can afford just to have something new. Or they might lose touch with friends and family while working too hard for a better position. They might start to measure their own worth by what they achieve or buy. If something goes wrong, they feel lost. This kind of living can make people tired, worried, and lonely. Over time, chasing happiness in this way changes how you see yourself and the world. You begin to expect life to always be exciting or perfect. If things are calm or normal, you feel bored, or you think you are missing out. You may start to compare yourself with others all the time, asking, why are they happy and not me? Or, when will it finally be my turn? These thoughts make the cycle even stronger. Some people become afraid to try new things because they do not want to fail. Others hide their true feelings, pretending to be happy so they can fit in. Many stop being honest with themselves. They forget what really matters to them and focus only on getting approval from others. At the same time, the happiness they are seeking always moves farther away, like a rainbow after a rain. High expectations can be another problem. When you believe you need only the best or newest thing to be happy, daily life can feel disappointing. You spend so much energy looking for big moments that you stop noticing the small joys of ordinary life. Maybe you do not notice a warm meal, a friend's kind words, or a beautiful moment during a walk. The search for something bigger and better causes you to miss what is already good. Of course, it is natural to dream, to hope, and to try for more. No one is wrong for wanting things to get better. Many good things in the world come from people working for positive change. However, when your main way of finding happiness is through getting more, you forget that lasting happiness does not come from outside things alone. It comes from inside you. If you look carefully, You can remember times when getting what you wanted did not solve every problem. After one wish came true, another always appeared. The feeling did not stay. This is why many people, even those who look successful or wealthy, still feel sad, tired, or lost. They are caught in the same cycle as everyone else. Sometimes a big change in life, like losing a job, getting sick, or having a problem in a relationship, shows how quickly happiness can leave when it depends on things you cannot control. During hard times, even the nicest objects or biggest awards do not bring much comfort. Old wishes lose their power. People begin to think more deeply about where true happiness comes from. All of this leads to an important idea. The common search for happiness through getting and achieving is not working for many people. This way of living often makes people want more, but feel less. It creates stress, disappointment, and frustration. Life starts to feel like a race you can never win. It is important to notice this because it helps you understand your own life in a new way. Instead of feeling confused or alone when you are not happy, you can see that many people face the same problems. You are not the only one dealing with these feelings. Everyone around you is trying to answer the same questions about what makes life joyful and meaningful. When you understand how common this way of thinking is, and how it affects almost everyone, you can start to question it. You can ask yourself important questions. Do I really need more things to be happy? Do I want to live my life chasing goals that do not last? Is there another way to feel peaceful and satisfied? These questions are an invitation to pay closer attention to your thoughts and feelings. They help you pause and look at your life with open eyes. You can notice when you are chasing after things that do not matter as much as you thought. You can remember times when you have felt content for no special reason, maybe during a quiet moment with a loved one, or watching the sun set after a long day. Recognizing the cycle does not mean you must give up your dreams or stop working toward goals. It simply means you can become more aware of what truly makes you feel good on the inside. Life will always have ups and downs. You will always have wishes and hopes. But you do not have to spend every day running after happiness, hoping it will finally appear just around the corner. By seeing this pattern clearly, you can start to wonder, is there a better way to live? Is there a way to feel happy that does not depend on things outside me? These questions point to a new direction, a way of living where happiness is not a distant dream, but something you can find even in ordinary moments. When you open your mind in this way, you begin to discover that real happiness may have been closer than you thought all along. Sometimes it is easy to believe that happiness lives in the next good thing we find. You might think that when you enjoy laughter, sweet food, or new experiences, you are truly happy. Many people fill their days with busy plans, trying new treats or searching for fresh entertainment. Each new pleasure feels exciting, bright, and enjoyable for a little while. For a moment, all worries seem to disappear. Your focus is on the taste, the sound, or the feeling right in front of you. Some people spend many hours watching funny shows, listening to cheerful music, or playing games. Others spend their free time looking for beautiful clothes, new shoes, or nice decorations for their homes. There are people who gather with friends for dinners, parties, or holidays, sharing food and stories and laughter. All these things feel good, and many people think that having more of them must mean more happiness. But you may notice that after a meal is over or a party ends, the joy does not last. After you finish a game or watch the last scene of a movie, you often wish for something more to do. After getting a new object, the excitement becomes ordinary. The taste you loved is gone and the sound stops. Pleasure moves away faster than you want. You may even feel tired, restless, or empty, even after doing something enjoyable. This is a problem that almost everyone faces. When you chase after pleasure only, You always need more to feel satisfied. You finish one experience and you immediately look for the next. When a friend leaves, you look for another call. When you finish watching a video, you search for another one. It seems like happiness is just around the corner, but you do not reach it for long. What felt new and exciting quickly becomes less interesting. Many people do not notice how dependent they become on the next good thing. Sometimes they start to feel bored or sad when nothing exciting is happening. At other times, they feel nervous if they cannot find something to distract them. Over years, this kind of living can make simple, quiet moments feel uncomfortable. It may start to feel like real life is not enough without extra color, taste, or achievement. Trying to fill life with pleasure can lead to tiredness and stress. The more you try to fill every moment with something enjoyable, the more energy you use. When you do not get what you want, you may feel angry or disappointed. Some people may spend too much money, eat too much, or lose sleep just to keep the happy feeling going for a bit longer. It becomes difficult to sit quietly or enjoy a simple day. Another thing happens when you depend on outside pleasures for joy. You give your power away. Because you always wait for something exciting to happen, your feelings can change very quickly. You become less able to feel steady and calm if the fun stops or if things do not go as planned. You depend on the world around you to give you good feelings, but you cannot control the world all the time. A person who lives this way may notice that happiness feels fragile. When the party is over or the taste is gone, you are left with yourself again. The quiet moments seem long or dull. Sometimes people feel lost when there is nothing new to look forward to. The more often this happens, the more people rush to fill the silence. They start to think that happiness must be louder, bigger, or brighter. This habit can sometimes hide true feelings. Some people use pleasure to keep hard emotions away. If they are sad, worried, or lonely, they look for distractions. They eat something special, watch another show, or talk to anyone they can find. While this works for a little while, it does not solve the feeling underneath. When the fun ends, the deep feeling returns, often stronger. This is why many people are surprised to find that even a life full of excitement sometimes feels empty. When you look at your day, you may see how much time and effort you spend chasing after these pleasant moments. You might notice how often you reach for your phone, a snack, or a busy activity when you are not sure what to do with yourself. When nothing fun happens, you may grow impatient. This pattern steals quiet moments and makes you feel like happiness only comes from outside sources. There is also the problem of wanting more. Each time you reach a new pleasure, it feels good, but soon you need something greater. If you travel, you want to visit a new place next time. If you taste a dessert, you may wish for a richer taste later. If a person gives you praise, you soon want more attention. Your desire grows with every new experience. Nothing is enough for long. Over many months and years, this way of living can make you feel tired and even unhappier than before. It is like chasing a moving shadow that never stands still. No matter what you do, you must keep searching for something else. When life slows down or gets simple, you think something is wrong. You lose trust in the goodness of ordinary days. Some people begin to see that something is missing. They wonder why a full weekend, a tasty meal, or a good laugh does not leave them peaceful inside. They notice that instead of feeling grateful at the end of a happy moment, they feel emptier. They find it hard to sit quietly, to think deeply, or to rest. Restlessness grows and it becomes difficult to feel calm. If someone depends on pleasure to find happiness, they spend much of life waiting for the next good feeling. If nothing new appears, sadness or boredom can arrive. It is easy to feel like life is not interesting enough or to believe that you are missing out. These thoughts can turn joy into trouble very quickly. The more you chase excitement, the less you value what you already have. Stories from many different people and cultures show this truth. Whether a person is rich, famous, or just living an everyday life, chasing pleasure without stopping leads to the same problem. When fun moments end, the deep feeling of calmness and satisfaction does not appear. In the middle of busy days, people begin to wonder if there is more to happiness than just good tastes, praise, or thrills. Another challenge is that fun experiences can sometimes distract you from what is important inside. When you use every moment to keep yourself entertained or comfortable, you may miss the chance to look at your own feelings, thoughts, and dreams. Sometimes, people are afraid of what they will find if they are quiet or alone with themselves. They hide from worry, pain, or sadness by staying busy. But this means the feelings never get a chance to heal or change. You may have noticed that pleasure is often about what happens outside. It is about getting something, eating something, hearing something, or going somewhere. If your happiness depends on these things, your mood can change very quickly. You might feel unhappy if your plans change or if something stops working. When this happens, your peace goes away and you start looking for the next thing to cheer you up. Relying on the outside world for happiness makes you less strong on the inside. You start to believe that you need more and more all the time, just to feel okay. When nothing new arrives, your heart feels empty. Over years, this can make simple joy very hard to find. Some people see that there are endless choices to make and things to do. There are thousands of foods, games, songs, and shows. But even with all these options, true happiness still seems difficult to hold. Too much choice can even create more stress, as people do not know what to pick or worry that they are missing the best thing. This cycle makes you busy, but not always joyful. You fill days and nights with new activity, but do not always feel settled inside. In some moments, you may stop and wonder what it means to be happy if all the pleasure can disappear so fast. Sometimes, the feeling of emptiness or boredom grows even louder after a fun event is over. Children show this too. They get excited about a new toy or a favorite treat, but soon want another one. They laugh loudly during games, but after they can grow bored or upset very quickly. Even with many things to enjoy, they ask for something more. This shows how natural the search for pleasure is, but it also shows its limits. When a person spends all their energy looking outside for happiness, they often forget to look inside. Calm, quiet, and deep feeling can get lost. There is less space for kindness, patience, or a sense of meaning in daily life. The desire for more grows stronger each day. Some people try to solve this by being busier. They join more groups, buy more things, change old habits, or travel more often. But as the schedule fills, the feeling inside does not always improve. In the end, many people feel more tired and less happy, even as they do more than ever. There can also be a feeling of disappointment after happiness goes away. People blame themselves or each other when the pleasure stops. They might think, if I was better, I could have made the joy last. They feel guilty or ashamed for not being happier when it is actually a normal part of chasing after pleasure. No one can keep happiness alive just by adding more stimulus. After a long time, the mind begins to wonder, what if this is not the true path to peace? You might feel confused, asking if there is something wrong with you or why you cannot hold on to joy. When you see that even new things, lovely events, and praise from others do not bring lasting peace, you open space for a new way of thinking. You can begin to pay attention to what brings a feeling of calm inside, even when nothing special is happening. Some people start to find joy in simple experiences, like a quiet morning, the sound of rain, or being with someone they trust. These moments are not exciting or full of pleasure, but they leave a feeling that is steady and gentle. The peace that comes from within often stays longer than any excitement. Even so, it is normal to want good things and to enjoy happy moments. Life has many joys, and sharing them with others brings color to the world. Celebrations, art, music, and new experiences are part of being human. The trouble begins when you believe these are the only ways to feel good inside. Finding balance is important. It is possible to enjoy pleasure without depending on it. When you notice the temptation to always search for something more, you can pause. You can ask yourself what will bring deeper contentment, not just quick excitement. This question helps you find out what matters most in your life. A different kind of happiness arrives when you look inside yourself. When you trust that calm, gratitude, and joy can grow from your own thoughts, actions, and choices, you begin to worry less about what is missing. You see happiness as something bigger than just fun or new things. This kind of happiness does not depend on the next plan, purchase, or praise. It comes quietly, by being true to yourself, by enjoying moments of kindness, and by noticing what is already around you. When you pay attention to these things, you may see that inside peace is not easily lost, even if outside pleasure is. People from many cultures and times have seen this truth. They have noticed that simple, steady happiness comes from living with care, honesty, and purpose. It grows stronger when you stop trying to fill every moment and start enjoying ordinary life. You can try this in your own day. Next time you feel bored or look for a quick distraction, stop and breathe for a moment. Notice your feelings. Ask yourself, what might help me feel calm, not just excited? This question does not need a fast answer. Each time you pause, you make it easier to find happiness that lasts longer than any fun event. As you go through your day, you may still find pleasure in music, food, or laughter. These are gifts to enjoy. But you can also begin to trust that quiet, gentle happiness is possible. When you do not depend on the next exciting thing, you free yourself from a difficult race. You find more space for the feelings that matter. A wise path to happiness means learning which pleasures help you grow and which ones take away your peace. It is about respecting your own needs and choosing what brings true contentment. You learn how to welcome pleasure, but not to depend on it for all your joy. You can remember that every day will have its ups and downs, exciting moments, and quiet spaces. Both are a part of life. When you let yourself enjoy simple joys and accept ordinary days, you discover that your heart can feel full without needing more and more. Being aware of how pleasure and happiness work in your life is the first step toward finding a steady joy that is not shaken by what happens outside you. This gentle awareness gives you strength. It helps you focus on what you can control and helps you let go of the race for endless excitement. Peace, gratitude, and happiness can grow from paying attention to simple things, accepting the moment as it is, and choosing what matters most to you. When you begin to live this way, you find a gentle strength inside. The need to chase pleasure becomes less important. True happiness begins to grow quietly and deeply, right where you are. When you notice that happiness does not always come from pleasure or new things, it can make you stop and think about what truly matters in your life. A different way to feel more peaceful and joyful is to look at what you can actually control and to accept what you cannot change. Many people try very hard to control everything around them, hoping this will help them feel safe and happy. But the world is full of surprises. Every day things happen that nobody expects. The weather changes, friends make different choices, plans fall apart, or something small turns out different from what you hoped. It is normal to want everything to go your way. People like to feel comfortable and safe. You might wish that nothing ever goes wrong, that everyone is kind, and that life is always smooth. But things do not always happen like that. Even when you make careful plans, small and big things can change suddenly. Someone you know might get sick, a friend might forget something important, or news might come that changes your day. These things are not in your hands. No matter how hard you try, you cannot stop every storm, control other people's feelings, or make everything go perfectly. Sometimes trying to control what you cannot leads to a lot of frustration. You might spend hours worrying about the future, or thinking again and again about things that already happened. You might get upset with other people, hoping they will change just because you want them to. This can make you tired, stressed, and unhappy because so much energy is used on things that do not belong to you. Instead of feeling better, you feel stuck. But there is another way. Some things you can control. You can decide what words you say. You can choose what you do with your time. You can decide how to respond when something does not go as you want. These are your own choices. When you focus on these things, you use your energy in a way that brings more calm and makes your life better. For example, you cannot control the weather. There are days with sun and days with rain, but you can control how you act in the weather. On a rainy day, you can choose to smile, to find something to do inside, or to put on a coat and go outside anyway. You cannot control if a friend is upset, but you can listen and you can choose kind words. You cannot force others to agree with you, but you can keep your mind open and be patient. Life feels lighter when you let go of things that are not yours to control. Instead, use your time and heart for things you can change. If you want to be kinder, use each day to practice patience. If you want to feel peaceful, pay attention to your thoughts and choose helpful ones. You can choose to say thank you, to forgive, or to help someone. These actions are small, but they fill each day with meaning. Sometimes it can be hard to know what is in your control and what is not. You might feel responsible for things that belong to others, or feel guilty when things do not work out. It helps to pause and ask simple questions. Is this my choice? Can I change this with my actions or words? If the answer is no, you can gently step back. If the answer is yes, you can do your best. When you accept that not everything will go your way, life gets easier. You waste less energy fighting with things you cannot move. You stop blaming yourself or others for every problem. Instead, you focus on making good choices, and you stay kind to yourself even when life is hard. This does not mean giving up. It means putting your effort where it counts most. You become stronger inside, even when the outside world is noisy and messy. Some days, big surprises happen. There may be a problem at work or school, a change in the plans, or a loss that brings pain. These moments can be very hard. You cannot rewind time or change other people. But you can always control your own actions. You can ask for help, you can rest, or you can decide to see the good in a bad situation. When you do this, you use your energy in a wise way, and you begin to feel more in charge of your feelings. If you try to control everything, you may worry about the future. Many people spend hours each day thinking about what might go wrong tomorrow or next week. They want to feel safe before it even happens. But no one can know the future for sure. If you give all your attention to the next problem, you miss what is good right now. The best thing you can do is to prepare as well as you can and then trust that you will do your best whatever happens. It is also common to replay the past in your mind. Maybe you said something you regret, or someone else made a mistake. Thinking about it over and over does not change it. You cannot change what is already done. You can only control what you do with it now. You can choose to forgive yourself, to make amends if needed, or to learn a lesson. If you keep your focus on what you can change today, your mind becomes more peaceful. Sometimes, it is hard to accept that you cannot make others act a certain way. Friends may disappoint you, or family members do not listen. You cannot force love, kindness, or respect from any person. Everyone acts from their own heart and makes their own choices. What you can do is treat others with respect and care and trust that you did your part. This helps you let go of anger or sadness when things do not go well. When you live this way, you notice something changes inside you. You become more relaxed and you can breathe easier, even when the day is not perfect. When someone is upset, you can stay calm. When plans go wrong, you are less upset. You begin to trust your own choices and your own strength. You do not depend on outside things to feel at peace. It is important to see that accepting what you cannot control does not mean you stop caring. It means putting your heart and energy into the places where it helps most. If you want to make a difference in the world, you do not do it by worrying about what you cannot change. You do it by acting kindly, being honest, and showing respect in small ways. These actions are always in your power. Sometimes people misunderstand acceptance. They think it means not having dreams, not hoping for better days, or not trying to fix problems. But acceptance is not the same as giving up. It is making peace with what cannot move so you can focus on what can. It is trusting yourself enough to stand strong, even when life is uncertain. You may have goals for your life. You may want good health, loving friends, happy days, and chances to grow. These are good things. The key is to do your best with what you can, and not to blame yourself or others when plans change. Keep moving forward, but hold each plan lightly. Life will sometimes give you gifts you did not expect, both happy and hard. If you keep your heart open, you can accept both. Some people find it helpful to write down what they can control and what they cannot. This simple practice brings clarity. For example, you control your words and your actions. You do not control the weather, traffic, or other people's thoughts. You control how you take care of your body, eat, sleep, and rest. You do not control the passage of time or the actions of strangers. Each time you make this list, you let go of worry and use your energy wisely. Children understand this as well. On a playground, a child cannot control the weather or the mood of others, but the child can choose what game to play, how to share, or when to ask for help. These small choices give a feeling of strength, even when big things change. Adults sometimes forget this lesson, but it is always true. There are times when letting go feels hard. You may hold on to anger, sadness, or disappointment. It is normal to wish you could change the past or fix every problem. With practice, it becomes easier to accept things that are outside your hands. Over time, you create more space for kindness, hope, and good choices. When you make acceptance a habit, life grows easier. You complain less and feel less stressed. You smile more often, and you can handle problems with a softer heart. You learn to focus on today, not just tomorrow or yesterday. You see that even when problems come, your strength is always with you. You may want to try a small exercise each morning. When you wake up, ask yourself, what can I control today? Make a short list in your mind. Think about your own actions, your words, and your attitude. Then, if you catch yourself worrying about something outside your power, gently remind yourself to let it go. With time, this practice gets simpler. Friends and loved ones will sometimes have problems you cannot fix. They may feel sad, worried, or angry. You can listen and care, but you cannot live their lives for them. Respect their own choices and support them as best you can. You will feel closer and stronger if you accept this truth. Some days are harder than others. Accepting what you cannot control is not easy, especially when you wish for good to happen. Every person has moments of fear, worry, or pain. Be gentle with yourself. Ask for help if you need it. Trust that your best effort is enough for today. As you move through life, these habits of acceptance will shape how you see yourself and the world. You will learn to see beauty even in imperfection. You begin to notice small joys that were hidden before. Your mind and your heart become less heavy. You find peace even in the middle of changes. When you focus on what you can control, you grow in patience and kindness. You stop fighting with things you cannot change. This does not mean you do not care about the world. It means you trust yourself to do your part, and you trust life to bring what it will bring. This way of living helps you in every part of your life, at work, at home, and with friends. When you meet a problem, Ask what you can do right now. When you feel lost, pause and notice what is in your own power. Each time you choose to accept what is outside your hands, you grow a little more peaceful. You may see that, as you practice, life brings new surprises. Sometimes letting go of control allows something better to come. By making space inside, you are ready for each new day. You begin to trust that you have what you need. Peace and happiness grow stronger when you accept each moment as it is, and when you use your choices with care. In moments of trouble, remind yourself that you are enough. When you cannot change something, do not fight it. Put your energy into actions that help you, and rest in the truth that you did your best. Over time, living with acceptance changes you. You stop seeing life as a fight. You become more open, more gentle, and more ready for whatever comes. Your happiness grows, not because everything is perfect, but because you have learned how to meet each day with a calm heart. This gentle strength helps you handle challenges, big and small. It gives you a quiet happiness that no one can take away. Thinking in this way also helps you make better decisions. When you are not busy trying to change everything, you can notice what is truly important to you. Your mind is clearer and your feelings are softer. You know what to let go of and what to focus on. With each new day, you feel lighter and more hopeful. As you continue to accept what cannot be changed and work on what can, you notice that life flows more gently. You become more grateful for each moment, just as it comes. You stop wanting to rush ahead or hold on to what is gone. The present moment is enough. This wisdom of acceptance does not mean you have no dreams or hopes. It means that you meet each moment with readiness and that you waste less time in worry or regret. You learn to take care of what is yours and to trust life with the rest. You find slowly that peace and happiness are not some distant place. They are here with you, shaped by your choices, your thoughts, and your gentle acceptance of the world as it is. When you begin to accept what is truly outside your control and focus on your own choices, you start to look at life in a more honest way. This kind of thinking is not new. Many years ago, there were people who thought deeply about life and how to deal with all its changes. One person who spoke clearly about these ideas was Seneca. He spent his days writing and thinking, asking questions about why people suffer and what brings real happiness. Seneca's words have traveled across many centuries because they help people understand themselves in simple and true ways. Seneca noticed that many problems in life do not come from what happens to us, but from how we think about those things. He wanted people to face the truth about life directly. He did not say that life would always be easy or that there would not be pain. Instead, he explained that people could learn to live with more peace if they could see and accept certain facts. He wrote about 9 basic truths. These truths are like clear steps that help people begin to see life as it really is, not just as they wish it would be. They help us find calm even when things are difficult. The first truth is that life is sometimes hard and unfair. Even if you do everything right, sometimes things still do not turn out as you want. There are days that feel heavy and times when you will not know what to do. It is important to accept this as a normal part of being human. Nobody gets to skip all the hard parts. This does not mean that you should stop trying or give up on being happy. It only means that you prepare your heart for days when things feel rough. You are not alone in this. Every person experiences stress, loss, and worry at some time. When you face trouble, you may feel stronger, knowing you are simply facing truth, and it is a truth shared by all people. The second truth is that suffering often starts with wishing things were different. When you tell yourself over and over that life should not be this way, or that something must change for you to be happy, you make your pain bigger. This happens to almost everyone. A plan changes. A friend says something mean. The weather is bad. Each of these may make you feel sad or angry, but the deepest pain comes when you wish over and over that reality would be different. The more you fight the truth of the moment, the more unhappy you become. Accepting the moment does not mean you like it, but it helps you breathe and feel lighter. The third truth is that most problems become harder when you add your own worry and fear to them. Trouble grows inside your mind when you think about it again and again. A small mistake becomes a mountain of worry after many hours of thinking. If you notice this, you can pause and remember that your thoughts do not control what is real. Your worry is not helping you, it just makes the hurt deeper. You cannot choose every feeling that comes, but you can choose which thoughts to continue and which to let go. The fourth truth is that happiness that depends on outside things will always be fragile. You will never control everything outside yourself. If your happiness always comes from someone else, from having money or from getting praise, then you will lose peace when these things are gone. Outside things can change very quickly. If all your joy comes from them, your inner life will feel like a storm after every change. But if you build contentment from inside, you carry it with you wherever you go. You can choose how you respond, even when things outside change. The fifth truth is that desires never stop if you keep feeding them. When you always want a new thing, or a new feeling, or a new win, there is no finish line. As soon as you get what you want, your mind will ask for something else. This is normal, because desire is part of being human. But Seneca said if you do not learn to understand and calm your own wishes, you may find yourself always running and never satisfied. You must notice your desires and decide which ones really matter. The sixth truth is that comparing yourself to others will take away your peace. It is easy to look at friends, neighbors, or people you see online and think they have something you do not. Maybe they look happier, richer, or more successful. This brings sadness and jealousy. But the truth is that you do not know their hearts or their troubles. Everyone is facing their own problems. If you spend each day wanting what others have, you will miss the good things in your own life. Being thankful for what you have, however small, gives you a feeling of enough. The seventh truth is that mistakes are part of life and nobody is perfect. You will make errors. You will forget something important, say the wrong word, or feel lost. Other people will make mistakes too, sometimes hurting you without meaning to. Seneca taught that you must forgive yourself and others. Learning from each mistake is more important than being perfect. Patience, kindness, and understanding yourself help you move through hard days with less pain. The eighth truth is that real happiness and meaning come from the way you live each day. The choices you make, the words you speak, and the way you treat yourself and others bring more peace than anything you can buy or win. When you live with honesty, with fairness, and with care, you start to feel good inside. This does not depend on awards or approval from others. It comes from trusting yourself and living as you believe is right. The ninth truth is that now is the only time you actually have. The past is over and the future is not here. Many people lose peace because they live in memories or worries. If you focus on this very moment, you find beauty in small things. You notice your breath, the sound in the room, the face of a friend, or the taste of your food. When you can enjoy now, life feels gentle, slow, and full. These 9 truths are simple, but accepting them in your heart is not always easy. Often, people want to fight against them because they wish for an easier life, or they want to avoid pain. Seneca did not tell people to pretend everything was fine, or to stop feeling pain. He invited everyone to look honestly at life and to care for themselves with an open and gentle mind. If you accept that life is hard sometimes, you feel less angry when problems come. If you know that wishing for things to be different brings suffering, you can catch yourself and try to let go of that wish. If you see that worry and fear make problems bigger, you can learn to stop fueling your own stress. If you understand that outside things are always changing, Your happiness will not depend just on them. If you catch your desires growing, you can stop and ask what really matters. If you hear yourself comparing with others, you can remind yourself to be thankful for what you have. If mistakes come, you let them be a chance to learn instead of a reason to feel guilt. If you live with care each day, you start to trust yourself. If you rest your attention on the present, you feel more calm. Seneca believed that these honest truths could help every person, no matter where they live or what kind of life they have. You do not have to be rich, famous, or clever. You only need to notice your thoughts, your habits, and your hopes. Every day, you can practice seeing life as it is. You let go of the hard fight to make everything perfect, and you focus on making peace with what is truly there. This brings a feeling of freedom, because you do not have to carry every problem on your back. It can help to look at each of these truths in your own life. You might write them down or talk about them with a friend. Think about times when life has not gone the way you planned. Remember the times you wished you could change something, but could not. See if there are places where you compare yourself to others, or chase after new things. Notice when you forget to slow down and enjoy now. Each moment you notice is a new chance to learn and grow. Even just remembering one of these truths can change the way you handle a difficult moment. When you feel stressed, you can remind yourself that all people have hard days. When you are angry about something you cannot change, you can pause and remember that your greatest freedom is in how you choose to act next. If you worry about what someone else has, you can take a breath and look for something good in your own life. Seneca's ideas also show the importance of being honest with yourself. Sometimes people try to hide from hard truths. They pretend not to feel pain, or they tell themselves stories so they do not have to feel sad. But honesty with yourself brings strength. When you can sit quietly and admit, "Today is hard," or "I feel jealous," or "I wish things were different," then you can work with what is real. This honest way does not solve every problem, but it helps you meet your feelings and move forward with more care. Life will always have ups and downs. There is no way to stop every problem or make every day easy. But the more you practice seeing and accepting these honest truths, the more your mind and heart can relax. You start to notice small joys, even in a simple day. You handle change with less fear. You become more gentle with yourself and others. Every truth you accept is a step toward lightness. Seneca's 9 truths ask you to see the world as it really is. They help you stop fighting against life and instead live in a way that brings more calm. Sometimes this means pausing in the middle of a busy day to ask yourself, what is really happening? Or, what can I accept right now? Over time, these questions become habits. You learn to choose thoughts and actions that help you feel good instead of making things harder for yourself. Practicing these truths also makes it easier to let go of difficult feelings and old memories. When you notice that pain does not last forever and that everyone has hard days, you begin to carry less fear and sadness. You stop blaming yourself and others for every mistake. You open your eyes to all the things you have, instead of counting only what is missing. Seneca's way teaches you that peace is not just for people who are lucky or have easy lives. It is for people who learn to meet each day with honesty and hope. This way is gentle. It does not demand that you change everything overnight. It asks you only to try, to look at what is real, and to be kind to yourself as you learn. Even if the world outside stays busy or noisy, you can hold 1 or 2 of these truths close in your mind. You can return to them when you feel lost or upset. Each time you do, you build more calm inside. You stop expecting everything to be perfect. Instead, you practice meeting life just as it is. Over time, you find happiness that does not disappear easily because it grows from your own gentle heart and honest thinking. When you start living more honestly and gently, as Seneca suggested, you begin to see how much suffering comes from your own desires. Many people want things to be different than they are. Wanting is natural, but it can cause pain if you do not handle it carefully. You might wish for a better job, more friends, kinder family members, a quieter home, or even just a day without trouble. On some days you want small things, maybe for someone to speak to you nicely, for your plans to work, or for a moment of peace. When life does not match what you want, there can be a feeling of disappointment, sadness, or anger. This pain grows when you fight against the way things are. Imagine you plan something carefully, then something unexpected happens, and your plan does not work. Maybe you miss the bus, maybe it rains, or maybe a friend cannot join you. What follows is often a strong feeling of upset. This feeling is not only from what happened, but from your wish for it to be different. If you think over and over, "This should not have happened," you make yourself suffer more. Seneca saw that suffering increases the more we resist reality. If someone speaks sharply or if an event is cancelled, you might spend many hours feeling angry. Inside your mind, you play stories of how things could have been. You wish for different words, different actions, something else, anything but what actually happened. This is the mind's way to avoid pain, but it does not work. The pain grows each time you refuse the truth of the moment. You can notice this inside you. Try to remember the last time things did not go as you planned. Maybe you lost something important, or someone was unfriendly, or you were late for a meeting. Almost always, there is a second layer of pain, your wish for a different result. In many cases, the situation itself is not the main cause of your suffering. It is the story you tell yourself and the belief that things must be another way. Seneca encouraged people to practice acceptance in these moments. Acceptance is not giving up. It does not mean you have to like every problem or stop trying to make life better. Acceptance simply means you allow reality to be what it is, without fighting it in your mind. You face the truth directly and use your energy in helpful ways, instead of wishing for things that cannot be changed right now. This can be very challenging. Most people are used to reacting with strong emotions. You may feel angry at unfairness, upset at mistakes, or anxious about the future. These feelings are normal. The key is what you do next. Do you continue to let anger and worry grow? Or do you learn to let go of your wish for life to change at this very moment? If you practice calming your desire for something different, you can notice that your mind quiets down and your heart feels lighter. Seneca explained that much of life will be outside your control. There will always be delays, mistakes, loss, and misunderstandings. You cannot stop other people from acting as they do. You cannot prevent every small trouble, but you can always choose how to react. You can choose to let go of blame, to breathe, to look for the next best action. When you stop fighting reality, you open the door to peace. Many times, you may notice that when you stop resisting, your feelings of pain begin to shrink. If you accept that plans changed, you can look for new things to do. If you accept that someone was rude, you do not let it control your mood for the whole day. Instead of getting lost in anger or sadness, you return your attention to what you can do now. This helps bring back a feeling of strength. Seneca's advice is clear. Do not waste your energy trying to change what cannot be changed right now. Use your strength to shape the part of life you can reach. Your own actions, your own words, your own thoughts. This is not always easy. The mind likes to wander to old stories, to blame, or to dreams about a better world. Each time you notice this, gently bring yourself back to the present moment. Sometimes people think acceptance means agreeing with pain or being lazy. This is not true. Accepting something does not mean you want it forever, or that you will not work to make things better. Accepting means you clearly see what is happening now, and you stop adding more pain by wishing it was not there. From this place, you can decide what is most helpful to do next. This way of living helps you during the hardest times. When you feel deep pain, rejection, or loss, it is normal to wish things were different. It is natural to hope for easier days. But if you try to control or fight reality, you lose peace. When you let yourself accept the truth, even if it hurts, you can rest and begin to heal. You may cry, you may grieve, but you no longer fight with yourself inside. Letting go of desire for things to be another way gives you more energy for healing and hope. It frees you from turning over painful stories in your mind day after day. You stop asking, why me? Why? And instead, you take gentle care of yourself here and now. Over time, you find that peace can return even after deep sadness. You can practice acceptance every day with small things first. When someone is late, you feel annoyed, but you pause and say, "This is what is happening." When you lose your keys, instead of shouting or blaming yourself, you breathe and accept, "I cannot find them right now." When your ideas are judged by others, you can still feel upset, but you do not have to let that ruin everything. As you build this habit, you may notice your suffering becomes lighter. You learn that you can survive moments when life does not go your way. You stop blaming yourself or others for every difficulty. Instead, you begin to trust in your own ability to manage whatever happens. Sometimes people are afraid that if they accept a hard truth, they will stop caring or working for change. But the opposite is true. Real acceptance gives you the balance you need to respond wisely. When you are not lost in anger or sadness about what cannot change, you see clearly the steps you can take. You act from calm, not from upset. There will always be things you cannot fix right away. There will always be people who do not act as you hope, or events that make your life harder. But each time you respond with patience and acceptance, you build a steady place inside yourself. You become less shaken by outside troubles. Seneca said that this freedom is the deepest peace you can find. This does not mean standing apart from life or refusing to feel. It means being honest about what is possible and using your strength in good ways. You are gentle with yourself in difficulty, and you are kind to others even when you are tested. When you let go of fighting with reality, you have more space inside for hope, love, and calm. Sometimes the mind makes you believe that peace will only come when all problems are solved. This is not true. Life will always have difficult moments. If you wait for every problem to disappear before you allow yourself to feel peace, you will never rest. Acceptance gives you permission to let good feelings happen, even while you work through challenges. Along the way, you will still feel old habits sometimes. You may catch yourself blaming or wishing for things to be different. This is normal. Do not be hard on yourself. Simply notice it when it happens and remind yourself, "I am doing my best." Each new day is a chance to practice again. It can also help to notice the feelings and thoughts that come up when reality is not what you want. Maybe you feel anger, sadness, or fear. These are signals from your mind and body. Instead of pushing them away or fighting with them, try using gentle care. Take a deep breath. Allow yourself to notice the feeling, but do not get lost inside it. Remind yourself, feelings are temporary, like visitors who come and go. If you want, you can write down your wishes and frustrations on paper. Sometimes seeing them outside your mind helps you let them go. When you notice your desires, ask yourself, "Is this something I can change today?" If yes, take a small step. If not, let it rest for now. Acceptance becomes part of your life step by step. Each time you choose to let go of fighting against what is, you become a little more peaceful. It is a practice, not something you achieve in a single day. Seneca taught that even the wisest people must practice this every day of their lives. One important thing is to remember you are not alone in this. Every person you meet faces moments when life goes the wrong way. Everyone wishes things could change sometimes. When you look at others with understanding and patience, you connect in a kinder, deeper way. Your own difficulties feel lighter when you know you are sharing a human experience. Living this way brings many small gifts. You begin to react with less anger to small troubles. You notice when the sun is shining or when a friend smiles. You give up the need to be right every time, and you can listen more. You find you have more space to enjoy life, even when things are not perfect. Sometimes letting go gives you new ideas or solutions. When you are not lost in fighting with the moment, you notice better choices. A quiet mind can see options that a busy mind cannot. You become more creative and able to solve the problems that are in your hands. Seneca also believed it is important not to judge yourself too harshly if you forget acceptance at times. All people return to habits of desire, resistance, and worry. The key is to recognize them, be gentle with yourself, and come back to patience. Over time, the moments of acceptance will outnumber the moments of struggle. Every day, life gives new opportunities to practice. You can wake up in the morning and remind yourself, today, many things may not go as I wish. If they do, you are grateful. If they do not, you breathe and stay steady. This does not mean you stop hoping or working for better days, but you grow stronger in how you meet both joy and sorrow. Sometimes people ask, how do I know when to accept something and when to try again to make a change? The answer is in gentle attention. When you have done your best, or something is truly out of your hands, choose acceptance for now. When you find a fresh idea, a new path, or when circumstances change, you may try again. Patience is important, both for waiting and for acting. You may find that others do not understand this way of living at first. They may tell you to keep fighting with every problem or to hold on to every wish. You can show them another path by your own calm actions and peaceful mind. When they see your patience and your honest heart, they may begin to try it too. Seneca's wisdom tells you to trust in your ability to accept what is real, to let go of fighting with every moment, and to live with gentle strength. Each time you notice your desire for things to be different, remember that this is just part of being human. With each breath, you have another chance to choose acceptance, to forgive yourself, and to move forward with hope. As you practice this honest way of living, you will notice that peace begins to stay with you longer. The world outside will still change, and plans will still sometimes fall apart. But inside, you feel a kind of freedom that no outside event can take away. You see that your happiness does not depend on having everything perfect. It grows stronger with every moment of acceptance, and every time you let go of a fight you cannot win. You begin to recognize that the wishes you have for life to be different are not bad. They help you grow and dream. But if you hold on to them too tightly, they make you suffer. Each time you let them go, even a little, you invite more calm and kindness into your day. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. You also become a source of comfort for others. When friends and family see your steady response to trouble, they feel safer and more at peace. Your acceptance helps them learn to accept as well. You build a world around you where there is more patience, forgiveness, and understanding. If you ever feel lost in wishes or disappointment, just pause for a moment. Remind yourself that this pain is a sign you are wanting something different than what is here. You can still have dreams and hopes, but peace comes when you stop fighting with what is true at this very moment. Letting go of the need for things to be another way gives you a new kind of power. You are able to live each day with more courage and more love. This is the path that Seneca described, a path of deep honesty, gentle acceptance, and lasting peace. Letting go of the need for things to always follow your wishes brings more peace, but sometimes this is not easy. People are often left holding on to anger, sadness, or pain long after things have changed. The mind can return again and again to moments that hurt, even if those moments are already over. When someone speaks a harsh word, when a plan fails, or when someone leaves, a heavy feeling can stay in your heart. Days or even years can pass, but the memory of pain can feel new every time you think about it. You might catch yourself replaying a conversation in your mind, thinking about what you wish you said, or wondering why something happened. You may feel regret about choices or shame about actions. Sometimes you remember things others did that made you upset or lonely, and you hold on to that bitterness. The feeling can return when you see a person again, or even when you are alone. Seneca noticed this pattern in people's lives. He saw that holding on to painful memories or hurtful feelings makes suffering last much longer. If each small pain is carried for months and years, life feels heavy. Even happy moments lose their lightness because the mind is busy with old troubles. Every person will go through moments that hurt. No one is free from sadness, anger, loss, or disappointment. But when difficult moments have passed, it is possible to make a choice. You can hold on to pain, thinking it will protect you, remind you, or keep you safe. Or you can start to practice letting go, allowing your heart and mind to become lighter. Letting go does not mean that you must forget what happened or pretend it did not hurt. It means you stop carrying the pain around everywhere you go. You give yourself space to heal and rest. You do not let a single event or memory shape your whole future. Forgiveness is one way to begin letting go. Forgiveness is sometimes misunderstood. Many people think that if they forgive, they must say that what happened was right or that it did not matter. This is not true. Forgiveness means that you decide to release pain and stop letting what happened control your feelings and thoughts. You do not forgive because someone else deserves it, but because you deserve peace. This can take time. Forgiving yourself is also important. You may look at choices you made and feel regret or shame. Maybe you wish you had acted differently. Seneca taught that all people make mistakes. It is part of being human. If you hold on to guilt, you never let yourself learn and move forward. Letting go of old anger or regret frees up space inside for calm and even for hope. If you find that your mind returns to the same painful thought again and again, you can pause and notice it. Sometimes it helps to say quietly, "This feeling is here, but it does not need to stay." Take a slow breath. Remind yourself that the past does not need to take away the goodness of your present moment. Some people try letting go by writing down their feelings. You might write a letter to yourself or to the person who hurt you, even if you do not send it. Putting words on paper can help move the pain out of your mind and into light. If you like, after you write, you can tear up the paper or put it away as a symbol that you are letting the feeling go. You can also let go by shifting your focus. When you notice pain returning, try to gently look for something good in the present moment. Maybe it is a kind word, the feeling of your breath, or a bit of sunshine. These small acts help your mind build new paths away from old pain. Releasing old feelings does not mean pushing them away or pretending they are not there. Feelings that are ignored will often return stronger. Instead, you can notice the feeling, name it, and then tell yourself that it is safe to let it go. You can be gentle with yourself. If sadness comes, sit with it for a moment. You can even put your hand on your chest and say, "It is okay to feel this." With time, the feeling loses its power and you can move on. Letting go is not just about big hurts. Sometimes people hold on to small complaints, little disappointments, or minor insults. These can gather and make your days feel tense and unhappy. When you catch yourself feeling annoyed about something small, practice letting it pass. Say to yourself, "It is not important to hold on to this." Your days become more peaceful when you stop collecting complaints. Seneca wrote that the mind is like a garden, and old pain is like weeds that can grow if you do not pull them out. Giving attention to what is gentle, true, and peaceful helps keep your mind clear. Every morning gives a new chance to choose what you carry with you and what you leave behind. Habits help with letting go. Each time you notice an old hurt and choose to release it, you grow stronger in this skill. Letting go becomes easier the more you practice. You can set a time each evening to think quietly about your day. Ask yourself, is there anything I can leave behind tonight? Picture setting your worries down, like putting away something heavy. You can even picture sending them far away, letting the wind carry them off. Sometimes people around you hold on to their pain for a very long time. You may notice this in a friend or family member who brings up the same story or complaint for many weeks, months, or years. Listening patiently can help, but remember you do not need to carry their pain for them. You can offer a gentle word of advice. It is okay to let it go. You deserve some peace. Letting go is not always quick. Deep wounds may take time, and old habits may pull you back. Be patient. Remind yourself that every small step is important. There may be days when pain returns. On those days, be especially gentle with yourself. Take a breath, ask for help if you need it, and know that it is always possible to heal. Seneca believed that people become freer as they let go of pain, anger, and regret. When you let go, your mind is more ready for good moments. You can notice a friend's smile, hear music, and enjoy quiet without old stories drowning out the present. Life feels more open and full. Letting go also makes it easier to forgive others when they make mistakes again. If you are used to setting down old stories, you do not need to keep score or collect every wrong that comes your way. This makes relationships simpler and warmer. You can say, "That upset me, but I'm not going to carry it around all day." This attitude helps everyone feel better. When you let go, you also learn to set gentle boundaries. Sometimes, people think forgiving or releasing a person from their hearts means allowing more hurt. But letting go does not mean allowing others to harm you again and again. You can keep yourself safe and still choose not to keep old pain close. You learn to say what is okay for you and to move away from people or situations that are hurtful. Your first job is always to care for your own peace. Some worries and pains are about things that never even happened. The mind is powerful and can create fear about what might happen in the future. These fears can grow into anxiety and make it hard to relax. The best way to let go of these worries is to bring yourself back to the here and now. When your mind travels to future troubles, gently return it to the things you can see, hear, or touch in the present. You can practice this by paying attention to your breath or by noticing the ground under your feet. Name 3 things you can hear, 3 you can see, and 3 you can feel. These simple acts bring your attention away from imaginary troubles and into real life. The more you practice, the easier it gets to calm your mind. Letting go of pain and worry is not a sign of weakness or of not caring. It is a sign of understanding what is helpful. Carrying pain and anger does not fix what happened. Releasing it gives you back your time, energy, and hope. Many people have found it helpful to share their feelings with someone they trust. When you talk, you can find out that you are not alone. This support may help you see your story in a new way. A gentle friend can help you notice when you are holding on to something for too long. They can remind you that you have a right to peace. Some people find comfort in small daily rituals, like lighting a candle, taking a walk, or sitting quietly with calm music. These small moments can give your heart a place to rest. When you feel sadness or anger rising up, you can return to these quiet rituals and feel stronger. Letting go also includes learning not to judge yourself too harshly. Everyone wishes at times to have acted differently. This is normal. If you are too hard on yourself, you add more pain instead of less. Talk to yourself as you would to a friend. Be soft and kind with your own heart. Seneca taught that when you stop fighting old battles, you have more energy to enjoy good things. You can laugh more easily. You can love people without fear or heavy expectation. You can wake up grateful for a new day, rather than weighed down by what came before. To help yourself let go, you can practice some simple steps each day. At the end of the day, think about anything that bothered you. Say to yourself, "This day is over. I can rest now." If a memory comes back, notice it and gently say, "You are not needed here now." If an old fear appears, thank it for its warning, but remind yourself you are safe. With practice, your mind and body learn that most troubles fade with time. New joys can fill the empty spaces if you allow yourself to make room. You may notice that you start to smile more quickly, or sleep more easily, or look forward to simple things. Forgiving others and forgiving yourself makes life gradually softer. It is not weak to let go, and it does not mean you forget. It is an act of care for your own health and happiness. You decide how much space to give each feeling. Negative feelings will visit, but you do not have to invite them to stay. Seneca believed that the more you practice this, the easier it is to enjoy life as it is. You do not wait for perfect days or perfect people. You find beauty in mornings, quiet in evenings, and love in small places. You are able to meet others with a peaceful mind and an open heart. Letting go brings a gentle freedom. You walk forward without dragging the weight of old days behind you. Of course, pain and trouble will return, because this is part of life. But each time you practice, the weights feel lighter. You become better at noticing what needs to stay with you and what should be set down. You also make it easier for people around you. A person who forgives quickly and lets go easily can calm others. Your patience can make friends and family feel safe to share, grow, and even make mistakes. This kind of kindness spreads without effort. Letting go does not mean forgetting the lessons from hard times. Every experience can teach you wisdom, patience, or gentleness. But you do not need to keep the pain sharp. Instead, you keep the lesson and release the suffering. This is a kind way to learn. Living like this makes present moments fuller. There is more space for laughter, hope, and friendship. You do not miss today because of yesterday's sadness. You can welcome new joys and not be afraid that pain will stay forever. Every person can practice letting go. It does not matter your age, history, or daily troubles. Every moment is a new chance. If you forget, you can try again. If you find it hard, know you are learning something brave and important. The more you practice, the more your heart opens. When you wake up each morning, you can say, "I choose not to carry old pain today." As you meet new joys and new sorrows, you remember that feelings will come and go, but your calm can remain. Seneca's gentle advice shows that by letting go, you give yourself freedom and peace. You are not controlled by pain or memory. Each day is fresh, each feeling is a visitor, and you decide which guests are welcome in your heart. When you understand this, you wake up open to small joys and simple happiness. You become present with friends and family, ready to notice what is good. You are no longer trapped by what others say or do. You carry a gentle strength, able to face both new troubles and new beauty with kindness. Opening yourself up to small joys brings a new lightness to daily life. Many people believe that happiness arrives only with special events, big achievements, or expensive rewards. But Seneca saw value in the simple moments that happen every day. When you put down the weight of old pain and accept today as it truly is, you become able to notice the gentle and quiet happiness that is always nearby. This kind of joy does not depend on money, recognition, or praise from others. It is found in daily experiences that are often missed when your mind is busy with wishes, worries, or old stories. It is easy for people to forget about these small joys. Many are so busy looking forward to the next big thing, or caught up in solving all their problems, that they pass by peaceful and beautiful moments. The sun shining through your window in the morning, the taste of warm food, the way flowers bend in the breeze, or laughter shared with a friend. These can bring a kind of happiness that rests deep in the heart. These experiences are not loud or exciting, or they do not call for celebration. They just wait for your attention. Seneca wrote that true peace is not found in what is rare or difficult to get. Instead, it is present in the simple daily things most people already have. When you are able to enjoy sitting quietly, stepping outside for fresh air, or sharing a meal with someone you care about, your mind begins to feel at ease. Your eyes open to the gentle gifts in each moment. Instead of always searching for more, you begin to feel satisfied with what is already here. This is not about avoiding dreams or hopes for the future, but about making space for daily calm and thankfulness. You can start by paying closer attention to the present. Many people rush through days thinking about tomorrow or feeling regret about yesterday. They look at their phones, get lost in thought, and do not see what is around them. One way to invite more simple joy into your life is to pause, take a slow breath, and notice what you feel, see, and hear right now. Let your mind rest for a moment on this single second. It might be very quiet. It might even feel empty at first. But if you let yourself be still, you may begin to notice small good things. Perhaps you hear the gentle sound of wind or the soft voice of someone in another room. Maybe you see sunlight landing on a table, or you notice the comfort of a chair. You might enjoy the feeling of clean water on your hands. Every day is full of these small, kind details. They do not solve every problem or fix what is painful, but they remind you that happiness is possible right now, even in the middle of a busy or hard life. Gratitude grows in these moments. Being thankful is not something you have to force. It comes naturally when you pause and recognize there is something good, even in a tiny way. You can be thankful for your breath, for warmth, for a kind word, or for the taste of simple food. Seneca believed that gratitude is the ground where calm and joy can grow. It gently changes your mind, making it easier to see what is right, not just what is missing. There are many ways to enjoy simple things. Some people like to walk outside, notice the fresh air, and pay attention to each step. Others enjoy preparing a meal or drinking a cup of tea slowly. Some people find peace in reading, drawing, or caring for a plant. There is no right way. What matters is your attention. When you let yourself be present, simple actions become richer. You begin to feel more alive and connected to your own life. Sometimes you may forget to look for these small joys, and your mind will slip back into worry or busy thinking. This is normal. Each time you notice this happening, you can gently return your attention to now. You do not have to be perfect. You only need to be willing to see what is good here in your own ordinary world. Being aware of small joys does not mean ignoring what is difficult. Sadness, struggle, and pain are real. People lose loved ones, face illness, or deal with disappointments. Even in such times, tiny moments of relief or light can appear. A kind person may send a message, a stranger may help, or you may find a few minutes of rest. Noticing these does not make your trouble smaller, but it reminds you life is bigger than any single feeling or event. Some people keep a small notebook where each evening they write one thing they enjoyed that day. It could be a smile, a meal, the feeling of finishing a task, or listening to music. This habit helps to train the mind to look for what is easy to miss. Soon, you start noticing good things in the middle of daily routines, washing dishes, caring for someone, or watching the world go by outside your window. When you place value on simple joys, you feel less pressure to chase after excitement or big rewards. You notice that real happiness does not have to be rare or expensive. You learn that your life is made up of many, many small moments, and each one can offer a gift if you are open to it. Even chores, quiet evenings, and everyday meals become times when you can feel well. Seneca taught that being rich is not about what you own, but about how you feel with what you have. When you practice enjoying what is already yours, your sense of lack gets smaller. You do not keep thinking about all you wish to have in the future. You notice what is enough for now. Enjoying simple things builds patience. You find yourself more able to wait and more ready to deal with change, because your happiness is not trapped in any one thing. You can feel thankful for a moment of rest, for a simple conversation, or for a quiet room. These are not prizes to win. They are free, always present, and waiting for attention. If you live with others, sharing these small joys can bring people closer together. Preparing food for someone, sitting silently while listening to music, or spending a few minutes outside together can make relationships softer and warmer. You do not need big adventures. Choosing to enjoy the small things together builds trust and love. Children often show simple joy when they see a bird, play with water, or laugh without reason. Adults can remember this skill even if life has made them forget. Notice the small things around you as if for the first time. This will bring freshness back into your day. Sometimes your mind may tell you that these simple joys are not important. You may think, "My problems are too big for this to help," or "I must finish my work before I can rest." Pause when you hear this thought. Remind yourself that you do not need to earn happiness. Peace is your right in each small moment, no matter what troubles you face. Seneca believed that learning to enjoy the simple moments of life was a way of building strength for hard times. Happiness is not about escaping trouble, but about seeing light in the middle of it. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to balance sadness and joy, pain and gratitude. You can try bringing more simple joys into your life on purpose. Choose to eat a meal slowly. Go outside and listen for soft sounds. Watch the sky before bedtime. Notice how you feel after just a few minutes. You may find that your mind is less busy, your body more comfortable, and your heart a little lighter. These moments, when gathered day after day, create a happiness that does not quickly fade. If you feel lonely, tired, or stressed, do not wait for a big change to take a break. Let yourself enjoy something gentle now. Even in the middle of a noisy day, you can find one small thing, an old photo, the smell of fruit, or the feeling of cool water. Give yourself permission to value these moments. Seneca taught that most suffering comes from wanting things to be different or better all the time. But when you learn to recognize the good in front of you, you stop waiting for happiness somewhere far away. You realize that even if your life is simple or quiet, even if today is not a special day, it is possible to feel grateful, calm, and alive. You will also notice that as you find peace in simple moments, you need less from outside. You do not worry so much about what others say or think. You do not rush for the next big thing. You trust that happiness is not about what you get, but about how you see. Some people find that being in nature helps them notice simple joys. The sound of birds, the feeling of a breeze, or the sight of trees moving invite your mind to slow down. Even if you do not live near parks or gardens, you can look for nature in small ways. Watch the clouds, feel a plant with your hand, or open a window to the sky. You may also find joy in movement. Walking, stretching, or dancing allows you to feel your body, which helps bring your attention away from busy thoughts and into life as it is. Even a short stretch or a short walk can help bring ease to your day. If you work or study, pause sometimes to look up from your task. Take a breath and notice something pleasant near you. A cup, a clock, the view, a peaceful face. Allow yourself to enjoy it, even for just a moment. This habit does not take time or effort, but it helps you return to the present again and again. As you notice these small joys, you may wish to share them, saying thank you for a kindness, smiling at someone nearby, or giving a gentle word can bring happiness to others as well. When you see someone else enjoying a simple moment, let it remind you to do the same. Happiness grows as it is shared and noticed. Even on hard days, allow yourself to remember times when small joys have helped you before. Maybe you listened to rain, watched a favorite show, or closed your eyes for a few breaths. Even 5 minutes of gentle attention can return you to calmness inside. The more you remember to return to simple joys, the more natural it becomes. Paying attention to small things can also help when you are feeling sad or overwhelmed. You do not have to change everything in your life for happiness to return. Begin with just one thing: a warm shower, music that brings peace, or a few slow breaths. Seneca's message is that ordinary life is not an obstacle to happiness, but a source of it. You do not need to wait for your life to become easy, rich, or famous to enjoy your days. With attention and care, every day provides gifts. The world is full of details, tastes, sounds, people, and moments made for quiet happiness. You may want to end your days by thinking of 3 good things that happened, no matter how small. This can be a kind look, finishing a task, or a pleasant sound. Let each one remind you that happiness is close by. The more you celebrate the ordinary, the more you see that your life is already good in many ways. What you have is enough for happiness to enter. As you focus on these simple gifts, you live more quietly and joyfully, and you teach others to do the same. The habit of noticing small joys builds a kind heart and a calm mind, ready for whatever comes next. When you learn to celebrate the ordinary moments and find happiness in simple things, you start to notice how often your calm is disturbed when you look outside yourself and begin to compare your life to others. This is a very common habit for people everywhere. Many spend much of their lives watching what others do, what others buy, how others look, and what others achieve. It can feel like everyone else is happier, richer, or more successful. Sometimes it is hard to remember the simple joys in your own life because you are busy measuring yourself next to someone else. This habit of comparison is easy to fall into, especially now, because you can see many pictures and stories from people all over the world every day. With one look at your phone or computer, you can see people sharing photos of their travels, their new clothes, what they eat, or how they celebrate special days. Many people post only the happiest parts of their lives online. You see their good news, their smiling faces, their new jobs, or their big adventures. But you do not see the problems, the sadness, or the quiet struggles that happen in private. Seneca spoke about this problem long before the internet existed. He noticed that when people keep looking at others and thinking about what they do not have, they lose the ability to see their own good fortune. Each day they can feel more empty, less lucky, and less special. The joy that comes from simple things disappears under the heavy feeling of not enough. People start to think, why do others have what I want? Or, what is wrong with my life? These thoughts increase pain and push away peace. Seneca believed that gratitude is the key to breaking free from this habit. Gratitude means seeing and appreciating what is good in your life right now, no matter how small it is. When you practice gratitude, your mind becomes softer and your mood is lighter. You no longer focus only on what is missing. Instead, you start to feel more complete with what you already have. This way of living grows a deep calm and a quiet happiness that is not disturbed by what happens to other people. You can begin to notice comparison in your own life. Maybe you feel small when a friend receives praise or a new opportunity. Perhaps you feel unhappy when you see someone with more money or a bigger house. Sometimes, even when your own life is good, these thoughts can steal away your happiness. The mind starts repeating, I wish I had what they have, instead of, I am thankful for what is mine. These thoughts are normal, but you do not have to listen to them forever. When you notice envy or jealousy, try to pause for a moment. Take a breath and look at your own life. What do you have today? It could be a safe place to sleep, a meal, a friend, or some quiet time. No matter how small it is, let yourself feel thankful. Say the words in your mind or out loud, "Thank you for this." Each time you do this, you weaken the power of comparison and make your heart a little brighter. Comparison can also happen with things you cannot see, like talents, health, or opportunities. You may notice you move more slowly than others, or find learning more difficult than your friends. The mind may say, "It is not fair." In these moments, Seneca reminds us that life is full of both gifts and challenges for every person. Nobody has everything. Each person struggles with some hidden sadness or problem. Even the people you admire or feel jealous of have their own worries and pain. If you only look at what others have, you miss the details of your own life that are good. You may be gentle, brave, thoughtful, or honest. You may listen well or care deeply for the people you love. These gifts are not always seen by many, but they are precious. You do not need anyone else's life to be grateful for yours. Seneca suggested practicing daily gratitude as a way to build strength against comparison. When you wake up in the morning, pause and think of one thing you are glad to have. It could be your home, your family, your health, your breath, or even the sunshine. When you end your day, think of something that made you smile. When you do this again and again, you slowly change your understanding of happiness. Life does not need to be filled with big moments. Small things are enough. It is not wrong to notice and celebrate others' good fortune. You can be happy for a friend's success. You can feel joy when your loved ones are healthy or lucky or strong. But you do not need to lose yourself in wishing for their life to be yours. You can feel glad for them while still remembering the value of your own story. This is what it means to have a gentle and open heart. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a daily habit. Some people keep a simple notebook where they write one thing they are grateful for each day. Others share what they are thankful for at the dinner table or when talking with friends. These small steps teach your mind to look at what you have, not at what you wish for. When you practice gratitude, you start to see the beauty in small things. Maybe you hear a kind word, feel a cool breeze, taste a fruit, or see a flower bloom. You pay attention to good health, to rest, or to friendships. Each small moment becomes a reason to give thanks. Life starts to feel richer, not because more came to you, but because you noticed what was always there. Comparison sometimes feels stronger when you feel weak, sick, tired, or lonely. The mind will look outside and try to find something or someone to blame. This might happen after a hard day or when you have less than before. It is easy to think, everyone else is happier. But this is rarely true. Each person's heart is full of both joys and troubles, even if you cannot see them. When you find these thoughts strong in your mind, you can put down your phone or turn away from screens for a while. Return your attention to your breath or the things near you. Go outside, listen to nature, or spend time with someone you trust. Remind yourself, I have enough, I am enough, and I am thankful. This brings you quickly back to calm. Seneca's wisdom is that comparison does not add to your happiness. Instead, it takes happiness away. It fills your life with a need for more, with jealousy, and with stress. But gratitude is always close. There is nothing too small for thankfulness. Even if your heart feels heavy and your day feels gray, you can find something, a memory, a moment of quiet, or the hope in a new day. Young people and children often compare themselves too. They may look at classmates, neighbors, or athletes and feel less than. They may copy others, dream of being someone else, or want what seems out of reach. You can help young people by teaching them to see their own gifts, by listening to them, and by sharing your own practice of gratitude. When children grow up learning to look for what is good in their own lives, they become able to face hard times with more hope. In families or among friends, comparison can create distance. It can make people feel angry with each other or afraid to share good news. But when you celebrate each person's own life and practice thankfulness, you help everyone feel more relaxed and welcome. Moments become softer. Conversations become warmer. Gratitude can change how you deal with difficulty. If something is hard, you may still feel upset. But if you can find even one thing to appreciate in the middle of trouble, a lesson you learned, someone who helped, or a deep breath, you remember that it is always possible for good to exist together with pain. Being thankful does not take away sadness, but it makes space for healing to begin. Living with gratitude also helps you need less. You do not have to wait for the next new thing or for life to be perfect. You know that joy is present right now, and that wanting more does not mean you will be happier. You feel peaceful, not because you have everything, but because you know how to pay attention and give thanks. Seneca taught that people who are grateful are less shaken by the success of others. They do not waste time wishing for someone else's story. Instead, they welcome their own, with all its joys and all its challenges. This welcoming mind brings more energy, more peace, and a stronger heart. You stop feeling behind. You stop trying to keep up. When you practice gratitude, you may also become more generous. People who are thankful for what they have often share more easily. Happiness grows when you give. A simple act of kindness, a gentle word, or helping someone in need brings more joy back to your own life. Gratitude is also good for your health. Many people feel less anxious, sleep better, and have more hope when they notice and give thanks for the good in their lives. You may find that your mind is more quiet, your body feels lighter, and your attitude toward problems improves when you create moments of thankfulness each day. If you ever feel lost in comparison, remind yourself that life is not a race. There is no score to keep and no line that everyone must cross. You are living your own story, at your own pace, and in your own way. Every day gives a new chance to notice some good thing, no matter how small. You do not need a perfect family, a large job, or many prizes to be grateful. You can be thankful for light at sunrise, music you enjoy, the chance to help someone, or even just being here to try again. There is always something, even if it is as simple as the breath you take in the morning. Practicing gratitude and letting go of the habit of comparison is a lifelong journey. Some days are easier and some days are harder. If you wake up feeling jealous or sad about someone else's life, that is all right. Notice your feeling, take a breath, and find one thing in your own life that is good. Say thank you for it. Let yourself feel the quiet happiness that it brings. Over time, your mind will change. Envy will become rarer, and gratitude will grow stronger. You will find yourself looking less often at others, and more often at your own life. You will notice beauty, kindness, and hope, where before you only saw emptiness or longing. You start to trust that your own life is enough. Seneca's teaching is that you already have more than you realize. When you see this, your whole world can look different. You wake up ready for the day, thankful for the chance to live it as you are. You treat others with gentleness, knowing they too have hidden struggles and worries. Gratitude opens your heart, not just to yourself, but to everyone you meet. This change does not happen in one day. You build it step by step with every thank you you say and every good moment you notice. As you do, you stop reaching so hard for happiness in the far away and begin to find it right where you are. Your mind grows less troubled, your heart feels lighter, and your life seems more full, even if it is still simple or still hard. Loving your own life and being grateful for it is the strongest answer to the problem of comparison. In this way, you protect your peace, you nourish your joy, and you make every day a little bit brighter. Gratitude becomes your gentle strength, one that is always with you through change, challenge, or any new day. Feeling thankful and accepting your own life helps you build steady happiness. Still, it is easy to think that happiness depends on success, money, or applause from other people. All around you, there are messages that say you must be rich, have many followers, or collect awards to prove your life is good. People chase after prizes, higher pay, or the best grades, believing these will give them joy that lasts. Shops and advertisements offer new things to make you believe you need more for happiness. Even in schools or at work, there can be a quiet pressure to always do better, win, and stand out. When you reach a big goal, the feeling of joy can be strong at first. You might get congratulated by family or friends. You may feel proud for a while, but after some days or weeks, the excitement fades. New problems appear, or you wish for more. This cycle repeats again and again. Seneca saw that many people spend most of their lives running after outside rewards, hoping they will finally feel complete. But many who reach these goals still feel empty inside or start to worry about losing what they have. You might notice this in your own life. Perhaps you worked very hard for an exam, a job, or an achievement. When you finished, it felt like a great moment. But soon, the next deadline, task, or worry came. If you rely only on success and praise, your happiness rises and falls like a wave. You become tired always chasing after one more goal. Money can make life easier in many ways. It can help you buy food, pay for a place to live, and care for your needs or the needs of people you love. Sometimes, saving for something special brings you hope. But Seneca and many other wise people notice that money alone cannot fill your heart for long. A person with much money can still feel lonely, worried, or unsatisfied. You may notice that once your basic needs are met, the extra things you buy do not bring lasting joy. Applause and approval from others also do not last. People may admire you today but forget tomorrow. They may give you likes, compliments, or support, but their opinion can change. If your peace depends on others' praise, you might feel lost when they turn away or when you make a mistake. Instead of looking only outside for happiness, Seneca taught that real fulfillment comes from how you live on the inside. This is not about giving up on your dreams or refusing to try. It is about understanding what matters most in the long run. It is about being honest with yourself and living with purpose, doing your best, but not letting your self-worth depend on results you cannot always control. Living well, Seneca taught, means acting with care, fairness, and kindness to yourself and others. It means keeping your promises, working hard, and forgiving mistakes, whether they are yours or someone else's. When you make choices that match your deepest values, you feel steady inside, even if the world around you changes. Success, pleasure, prizes, and praise are part of life, but they are not everything. They are moments, not the whole story. They come and go. What stays with you is your honesty, your kindness, and the gentle trust you build in yourself. By putting these values first, you grow confidence and a sense of meaning in your days. It is normal to want people to notice your work, thank you for your help, or say you did well. These things feel good and can give warmth, but you can practice not relying on outside applause for your peace. Each time you do something kind when nobody sees, you work hard for its own sake, or you say sorry when you make a mistake, you are building a strong and honest heart. This kind of heart is not taken away by loss, change, or silence from others. If you look inside, you may already know moments when you felt most peaceful or proud. Very likely, these were times you acted with courage or truth, or helped someone without being asked. They may not have brought attention or money, but they left you feeling alive and useful. These moments shape your life far more than any prize or sum of money. Dealing with challenges is a part of everyone's life. Even those with many successes face days of failure, sadness, or confusion. The way you handle hard days shapes your inner strength. Seneca believed that real happiness comes not from escaping trouble, but from learning to respond to it with calm and wisdom. When you build the habit of being honest, patient, and gentle with yourself and others, you find that hard times can be faced, not feared. Forgiving yourself is part of this honest way. If you make a mistake, let yourself feel its lesson, but do not stay lost in guilt. You can apologize, change your actions, or make things right, and then move forward. If you feel angry or sad, you can accept the feeling, ask for help if you need it, and take small steps toward peace. In the same way, try not to judge yourself only by what you achieve or how quickly you meet your goals. Life is not a competition, and everyone walks a different path. Laughter is also important. Seneca thought that people should not always take themselves too seriously. Allowing yourself to laugh at your errors or to find humor in your struggles lightens the heart. Laughter can help you see that no mistake or failure is the end of your story. It can heal old pain and bring people closer together. Treating others with respect and care is another sign of real happiness. When you listen, help, or forgive someone, you not only give them comfort, you also strengthen your own sense of meaning. Seneca wrote that kindness to others comes back to make your life richer and warmer. Even when your own heart is sad or tired, helping another person can give you a moment of joy. Some days you will feel unsure. You may wonder if you are doing enough or if you have lost your way. In these moments, return your attention to the things in your control. Focus on your thoughts, words, and actions. Take one step at a time without worrying too much about mistakes from yesterday or dreams for tomorrow. Trust that showing up with kindness and honesty each day brings a kind of success that cannot be taken away. True fulfillment grows slowly and quietly. It is the habit of living in harmony with your own values. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to try to be patient with yourself and to keep coming back, even after mistakes. The more you practice, the more you notice daily moments that feel peaceful, honest, and whole. If you ever lose sight of what matters most, you can pause and ask yourself some simple questions. Was I honest today? Did I do my best with what I had? Was I kind and patient with myself and with others? Did I forgive mistakes, take care of my needs, and show respect? These small questions can help you see the good in yourself, even on hard days. When you live this way, outside problems become smaller. It does not mean that you will never face loss or sadness. It means you now have tools to handle them. You stop chasing after every kind of pleasure or approval. You learn to be satisfied with enough food, enough health, enough love, enough peace. Seneca taught that happiness and success are not always the same. You can win awards but still feel lost inside, or you can live quietly and feel deeply satisfied. When you grow your own peace and live with purpose, you are not shaken by changes in work, money, or other people's opinions. It is important to remember that no one's life is easy all the time. Everyone has fears, worries, and doubts. What matters is how you face these with courage, patience, and hope. Each time you forgive yourself, try again, or laugh at your mistakes, you show true strength. Sometimes when you see someone with what you wish for, more money, a bigger home, or a high position, you may feel jealousy or frustration. When this feeling comes, remind yourself that true and lasting happiness comes from living your own life well, not from having everything or matching someone else's story. The person you envy probably deals with their own struggles too. You can practice living honestly and with purpose in small ways. Help a neighbor. Say a kind word to a stranger. Forgive someone who upset you. Speak truth, even when it is not easy. Say thank you. Listen carefully, and take care of your own mind and body. Each of these actions may seem simple, but together they create a strong and peaceful life. You might want to find time each day to sit quietly. Let your mind rest. Notice what feelings and thoughts come up. Do not chase after them, just watch. Be gentle with yourself, as you would with someone you love. Let the peace inside you grow stronger with each breath. Building real happiness is a journey. You do not need to win, succeed, or collect more. You only need to show up honestly in your own life and keep practicing kindness. Even in confusion, you can pause and remember what is most important: caring, honesty, patience, and hope. The feeling of meaning grows each time you practice. Try to welcome each new day as a chance to begin again, to forgive a mistake, to do one small kindness, or to learn. Let yourself notice small joys. Share laughter and do not be embarrassed to feel unsure sometimes. All people are learning as they go. When you live in this way, your days are full even when you have less. You notice beauty, peace, and hope in small places. You handle struggles with courage, not fear. You stop worrying about what others think and instead trust your own path. You forgive more quickly, love more simply, and rest more fully. Seneca's wisdom reminds you to return to honesty and kindness again and again until they become habits. When you measure your life by these actions, you are more likely to feel proud, grateful, and alive. This is how real happiness grows, step by step, small act by small act, inside your own heart. Your life, with all its changes and challenges, can feel deeply satisfying when you focus on living with truth, fairness, and care. Joy is not something you need to wait for or buy. It is something you grow with every act of courage, each moment you forgive, every time you choose love over doubt. Keep coming back to your own true self, to what matters most. Let your happiness grow from your own choices, not from money or applause. In living gently and honestly, you find a freedom and calm that endures. Your days become rich and meaningful just as they are. When you continue making honest choices and caring for your own life with patience, little changes begin to grow inside you. These changes come quietly at first. You may notice that you worry less about what others think of you. Old feelings of being in a race or always needing more become weaker. Your days start to feel lighter and kinder. You begin to wake up without the heavy pressure to prove yourself through things, awards, or approval. What truly matters comes from how you act and how you feel about yourself on the inside. Seneca's gentle lessons become stronger in your life when you put them into practice, one step and one day at a time. As you live this way, you may see that letting go of endless wanting and enjoying the present makes you calmer than before. The habit of running after more things, more praise, more pleasure becomes easier to notice, so you do not follow it so often. You start to ask yourself, is this really what I need? Or will this bring calm into my heart? Each time you pause, you give yourself a chance to choose what fits your values instead of just repeating old habits. When you choose to accept what you already have, you find peace waiting for you, even on simple or quiet days. You also see that stopping the fight against life and working gently with how things are creates more room for happiness. Life is never perfect. Some days are long or uncertain. Trouble and change come for every person. But when you focus on what you can do today, not on every problem in the world, you waste less energy and feel less tired. You become better at facing both joy and sorrow without feeling destroyed by either one. Looking inside your own heart also helps you understand what is important to you. The world sends many loud messages about what success should look like. Friends, family, and advertisements can say over and over that you should want certain things or live a certain way. When you take time to reflect and listen inside, you notice that some wishes are not really your own. You can let go of dreams that do not fit you and spend more of your life on what truly matters, whatever that may be for you. Spending time alone or in quiet places is a good way to hear your own thoughts clearly. You do not need to go far. It can happen in your room, during a walk, or while you drink tea. In these moments, you may notice if your mind is calm or busy, peaceful or restless, or if you discover you are holding on to a worry or a desire from yesterday, you can practice letting it go. Choose to keep company with feelings and thoughts that help you, not those that harm you. Letting go of harsh judgment is another important change. It is common for people to judge themselves and others with strictness. You may hear thoughts like, "I should have done better," "He is never careful," or "She always forgets." Over time, these judgments bring pain and keep distance between people. You learn through Seneca's guidance to replace judgment with understanding. You start to say, "I did my best today," or "Everyone has hard days." Giving yourself and other people a little more patience allows kindness and trust to grow. When you judge less and accept more, you may feel closer to people around you. You see that everyone is learning and growing, just as you are. Someone else's mistake does not make them bad. Your own mistake does not mean you have failed. You notice the good in each person, and this helps heal anger or division. Each gentle word or gesture creates a better place for peace to live. Connecting with others through honest and simple moments becomes easier. Instead of needing long explanations or waiting for perfect times, you find that sitting together, sharing a meal, listening, or being quiet together are enough. You enjoy friendship, love, and community without pressure to impress. Relationships become softer and feel safe. Your life also feels more open as you practice gratitude. Thankfulness is not a one-time act, but something you do day after day. Each evening, you can remember one thing you enjoyed or learned. Each morning, you can look forward to a simple part of the day. You notice what others give to your life, however small their part seems. Your heart becomes bigger with every thank you. Simple acts of kindness will start to feel natural. You may find yourself offering help, sharing what you have, or caring for someone with no hope for a reward. These moments of giving add meaning and bring joy no matter your job, your age, or your situation. Helping others can be a way to forget your own worries and feel useful. What you give comes back to you inside as a lasting peace. Being gentle with your own mistakes also changes how you handle hard times. When you fail, you remind yourself that every person fails sometimes. There is no story of a person who has success without trouble. You learn to look for the lesson in your mistake. You promise to try again another day. You learn to forgive yourself just as you would a friend. This helps your mind feel safe and ready to keep moving, even when things are not going well. Reflection gives you the wisdom to know when to act and when to accept. Some situations need effort. Others need patience and time. By looking inside, you learn to tell the difference. When you cannot change something, you stop using your energy to fight it. You accept what is real and save your effort for moments where you truly can help. Taking responsibility for your choices without guilt and without pride is part of this honest path. When you notice your own decisions, you see where you helped, where you caused pain, or where you missed a chance. Accepting your part makes you stronger. You can learn from each day, honor your own values, and avoid blaming others for things that are yours to change. Over time, you also find that your mind becomes quiet more often. You spend less time worried about the future or caught in the past. You notice fewer thoughts racing through your head day and night. When you slow down, your body relaxes and your heart feels less heavy. You remember what you did well instead of only what needs fixing. All these lessons together create a simple but powerful way to live. You stop running after each new want or hiding from every fear. You feel strong enough to meet each day as it is. You become open to the full mix of life: sun, rain, loss, gain, joy, and pain, without losing your kindness or your hope. Seneca's honest view of life gives you a way to live that does not depend on luck, riches, or perfect days. You understand that real peace and gratitude are choices, not things that come from outside. This means that you can keep your calm even when the world feels confusing, noisy, or difficult. You might also see that as you live with more peace, your presence helps others do the same. People around you may start to relax, laugh more, or feel safer. Friends and family may notice that you listen better or lose your temper less often. When you show understanding, patience, and kindness, you inspire those near you. Each small act has an effect that continues far beyond one moment. Peace can also change how you face the hard or sad moments that come to everyone. When you meet loss, failure, or pain, you know that these are not signs that you are doing something wrong. You see them as part of being alive. You give yourself time to feel, to rest, to heal. You ask for help when you need it. You offer help when you can. You know that nothing is permanent, not hope, not trouble, not even happiness. With this outlook, you also worry less about what will happen tomorrow or what happened yesterday. Paying attention to now becomes a way of life. The present moment is always open for you to begin again. If you lose your peace, you have the skill to return to it, step by step. You become gentle with yourself and others, even during storms. Noticing the present moment does not mean you never plan or never remember. You still work for good days and learn from the past. But you do not live trapped by regret or stuck in fear. You do not need every day to be special or perfect to enjoy it. Each quiet cup of tea, each good word, each new sunrise is enough. Life becomes fuller when you do not hurry past it. Letting go of wanting everything to change or improve at once brings relief from pressure. You can aim for better days without anger or sadness about today. You know that improvement happens slowly. Each morning, each evening, each smile is part of the process. As you continue facing each new day with honesty, you see that your thinking and feeling change. Wanting, fear, judgment, and old anger become less strong. Calm, patience, and kindness become the center of your life. You notice the freedom to choose your response no matter what you face. The way you live becomes your gift. You do not wait for happiness to come from somewhere else. You do not look for life to be easy before you feel gratitude. You practice peace, joy, and honesty in every gentle act, every honest word, every patient moment. Sometimes other people will still measure life by prizes, riches, looks, or power. You can respect their journey without letting it change your own. You see that everyone learns in their own way, in their own time. Your calmness and steady joy can help remind them that another way is possible. If you ever feel lost again, the steps are always simple. Pause, breathe, return to the present, and remember what matters most. Thank yourself for trying. Begin once more. This is how gentle and lasting change grows, not in one big leap, but in many small returns to honesty, patience, and self-kindness. When you trust the lessons of Seneca and let them shape your way of living, you create the conditions for a lasting happiness. This kind of happiness does not shout. It does not depend on having more, being noticed, or controlling everything. It is a quiet steadiness that remains with you through every season of your life. Your daily choices, your willingness to let go, your attention to this moment, and your care for yourself and others create a life that feels both peaceful and meaningful. What you practice, you become. By living with gentleness, honesty, and gratitude, you find happiness that grows quietly day after day. This happiness is yours, wherever you are, and whatever happens in the world outside.